What's going on, guys? It's finally starting to feel like spring. And while I could be in the garage doing C10 stuff, I think it's time to get this Camaro spring ready. So we're gonna do an oil change, we're gonna check the fluids, and we're gonna charge up the battery. And after that, we're gonna go do some burnouts. Stay tuned. All right, first order of business, we gotta get this cover off. What I like to do, if I don't have to have the car up in the air for a long period of time, I'll jack up the car, put them on the ramps, and then later on I can drive it off. Wow, this engine is filthy. Look at these valve covers too. I just bought these like a year and a half ago and they're already starting to rust. Where did that rust come from? Dude, rust that rubs off. What is happening here? See, this is exactly why I can't have anything nice. This is just from driving in the neighborhood. Here is the plan. First of all, I'm gonna do an oil change on this thing. So that's number one. Oh, I need a lift. Well, hopefully this looks like normal oil. Let's find out. Oh, dirty. Not milky though, that's good. So I probably could have moved the car under its own power, but this engine hasn't ran since, I think December. So all that oil nicely settled to the bottom. So I figured I'd just do an oil change while all that old oil is in the oil pan. All right, I'm gonna take a nap. You guys wake me up when this thing is ready to go. One, two, Freddy's coming for you. Must have zonked out there, sorry. As far as the oil goes, it's funny because the zinc additive is actually more expensive than the oil, like by $4 more expensive. So I went with just an O'Reilly's 10W30 and the additive was like 20 bucks. Which the worst part is this, is I'm at Eastwood all the time and Eastwood just started carrying a zinc additive that's like $9.99. It's very reasonably priced. So a small block Chevy with a standard oil pan takes 5 quarts. So this is a pint right here, so that's half a quart. So I'm gonna add this in, and I already have a little bit, probably about a pint in the filter itself, and then I'm gonna dump all that in there except for a pint, and we should be right where we need to be. So make sure you run this zinc additive if you're running a standard flat tappet camshaft, because if you don't, things will happen. Things that you do not want, trust me. Cheap old oil going into the junk 305. So that's one thing done. So this thing is definitely on the low side. I'm just gonna let it hold and I'll check back on it, you know, after maybe all the fluids are done. So let's check all the fluids. I doubt you'll be able to see it, but it is pretty topped off. Next step, power steering fluid. Let's see how this guy looks. Basically where it should be. So power steering fluid, I would say good to go. Now let's check the brake fluid. I do kind of have a slight leak in the system at the proportioning valve. Yeah, can you see that? That's golden. I'm waiting for the battery to get charged right now, but I'm going to show you guys something that I do every year. And no matter if your car sits inside or outside, it's just good insurance to not get any rodents in your car. We have field mice out here, and they like to get in everything. So every year, I do 2 things to my car. Let me show you what I do. Okay, so it's super dark in here, so let me grab what I'm gonna grab, and then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Woo, here I am. Okay, so the 2 things that I do every year when I winterize this vehicle. Number 1, I get cotton balls and I soak them in peppermint oil. Mice hate peppermint oil. 2, simple dryer sheets. And since I've been doing that, I haven't had any signs of mice in this car for the last couple years that I've done this. When you open up your doors for the first time in the springtime, your car basically just smells like Altoids and laundry day. It's pretty nice. It could smell a lot worse. It could smell like, you know, rotting mouse carcasses. And the way I set these off is I put 1 there, 1 on the other side, 2 on the floor here, usually some in the back with dryer sheets in between, and usually I put 1 up there and on the dashboard too, there. Well, this is great. You see that white stuff? That's mold. That's not Altoids. And look at that. All winter long, just been seeping in here. Oh man. Have any of you guys had issues with water coming in your guys' cars? At least the second generation Camaros? Because I've been trying to get to the bottom of this, and I've sealed up a lot of stuff, and I still am getting water in here. I redid all the weather stripping along the door, and I actually went as far as resealing this area. Now, I wasn't able to go all the way over because of the fender being in the way, but I got as much of it as I could. Just one of those things, you know? Just one of those curses this thing has. Pretty sure I should be able to start this thing up. Oh, by the way, I also wanted to give a shout out to Russ from Double R Restoration. He actually sent me this Victor Christine keychain a while back in the wintertime when he did a subscriber giveaway. And I just wanted to say thank you. So if you guys haven't seen his channel, I'll put a link in the description. He has 2 Camaros that he's doing restorations on, and he does top-notch work. So, once again, thank you, Russ. And like I told you, with that being on there, this car is going to be just a little bit more cursed. Let's go start this thing. This car does not like me today at all. This thing does not want to turn over. Alright, so let's go for this drive. If I can't do a burnout tonight because it's too dark, we'll do it tomorrow. It's been about 4 months, I think. Here we go. Oh, it's been a while. So this is going to be a pretty short drive because this thing is backfiring like no other. The only thing I can think of, since nothing's changed since the last time I drove it, is inside the distributors, these 2 little arms to control the advance. I've had those actually rust up on me where they just got stuck in one position. It's a very good possibility that that's what happened with all the rust that I saw on everything else on the motor. I'm guessing that's probably what it is. So I'm doing a short kind of circle around my, I guess, neighborhood, which is cornfields. And yeah, listen to this. I'm gonna try to get on it a little bit. Oof. All right, we're done. The higher in RPMs you go, the richer the mixture becomes. I mean, I can smell gas like crazy. And taking it over 55, it starts really bogging down. So I guess we'll continue this tomorrow. All right, so what's the next day? Let's get inside that distributor. All right, so here's the moment of truth. So if these plates move freely, we're going to be checking for other things that I really don't want to look for. Let's find out. Oh my God. Okay, well, so I'm fairly certain I just found my problem. Just look at the inside of that cap. That is crazy. Like everything's wet in here. Oh yeah. Huh, yep. Exactly what I thought. Those 2 plates that are mounted to the shaft of the distributor, when you get into higher RPMs, what happens is those 2 plates move further out. Well, that's not happening. So when I'm driving down the road at, let's say, 2,000 RPM, I'm fine. But the second I punch it, those plates don't actually spread out, and I'm not getting enough spark. That's why it really smells like gas in the cab, and it's running super rich. So by freeing those up, this car should run normal again, you know. I need to move to Arizona or RTV this frickin' distributor cap on. All right, let's get going here. It's a very simple process. I'm gonna take WD-40 and brake cleaner, free up those plates, because right now they are not moving. This one is complete. You see that? How much force that takes to move? Oh yeah, cue time lapse. So that's pretty much it. These plates move pretty much on their own. They don't get stuck anymore. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clean up this entire area now. Well, I wish I had my electronics cleaner, because I would feel a lot safer spraying this piece down. But I actually gave that to one of my friends. And he actually has a YouTube channel as well. If you guys are into fishing, check out his channel. I'll throw it in the description. And that is Flatlander Fishing. Check it out, it's pretty cool. So this whole area is cleaned as best as I could get it. And then I took this little metal brush and I brushed as much rust as I could off the springs and some of these other areas. I lubed them up on the inside with WD. Got that piece all done. Then I took these. I cleaned these up as much as I could with a wire brush. Then the same thing with the inside of the distributor cap. And all those contacts I brushed, and I try to remove as much corrosion off of them with a X-Acto knife. So I guess I'll have to add this to my list of things that I have to do, getting the car ready for the season. And the coil wire. Last wire. Boom. So, let's go start this beast. Alright, so you know what that means, right? I did not mess up the firing order. I'm gonna let this thing warm up, and we're gonna go do some freaking burnouts. Yes! It's about time. Victory burnouts. Let's do it. Woo! That was fun. Car again, and it's not backfiring. Oh man, love it. This is great. I'm ready to go on a road trip. Man, the fun that we're gonna have in this car this year, it's gonna be awesome. If I can pull it off, power tour, that's gonna be sweet. That will be the longest journey that this car will probably fail. So I'm gonna do a couple more things to the Cursemaro. I'm gonna try to get this thing a little bit more reliable than it is right now, and I'm sure I'll put out updates for that. But if you guys want to check out some of the stuff that I do that doesn't make it on camera, make sure you follow me on Instagram, /BustedClassicGarage. Check it out. All right, I'm getting out of here. Later.